ADA, we start with 1 hour chart. Just want to give a quick update. If you refer to our analysis, we mentioned the ways moving is really corrective. That's why we mentioned if we wants to look for trade, any trade with a small correction flag, we consider as a short term because in my our analysis in my last video, the price was within this. Okay, we didn't have a really good trade setup and the ways moving is really corrective. All right, because if you refer to the indicators, we see the divergence. Okay, that's mean it doesn't give us a really good trade setup. Any trade, we the only thing is the best way is to trade based on lower time frame, and we can see is a short term trade. Anyway, we want to see how we can look for next trade. And if we move to daily chart, the only thing is we need to be quite careful. We have to get the correction because what we get here is really sharp. If we get the correction, we can confirm for continuation because since we have been looking for the reversal. But if we move to forward chart, the only problem is the way it's moving was really corrective. I mean, didn't give us really, uh, the correction for to confirm the continuation. All right. The right now we're looking at this. The only thing is we have to get the proper trade set up before we look for trade. And what we're looking for, we're looking for the sharp move because still we can consider this one as a correction, as a flatten relative to this. That's why we cannot jump into the trade. As we can see, we're expected the price to break the previous stop, which is almost 1.336, 1.34. But as you can see, price tag and reverse. Now the question is whether we can expect to get the correction for continuation or the price can reverse or turn to deeper correction. This is the reasons we cannot simply buy. And even if we move to 1 hour chart, what we can see here, we can see the divergence. Okay, even this one, we can look at this one as a running flat. All right. But how we can look for trade? Because the only option is to have entry above this. But if we want to have entry above this, what we want the price break and continue the price tag. It tend to, it couldn't break. It start to correct. Still, we can consider we should be aware of bigger correction. Okay. Anyway, if we wants to look for here, we wants to look for buy. The best things is this one tend to a deeper correction because then from there we can look for proper trade setup. But right now, the only way is if the price continue from here, having trade above the top. But how about if the price tag break this one and start to correct, continue as a corrective? Any trade will be a short-term trade, and the best thing is to trade based on lower time frame, not the 1 hour chart. Okay, and if the price either from here more break this top, any reversal with the correction of lag, this is where we can confirm the price is going to drop. This is where we shouldn't look for any trade, or even we have any trade, we have to start to manage it. What I want to say is that we're looking for the trade set up for continuation as a buy, but whatever the trade we have there is a short-term trade, and the only way we can look for trade if we trade based on lower time frame, which is 15 minutes. All right, that means we don't have any trade setup, proper trade setup right now to look for the next trade. Okay, in this case, we it's better we wait and we see what we get here. Then from there we make a decision how to look for the trade. Anyway, we just follow the chart. If I see any update, I will share. Thanks.